Shane Gillis is currently on track to becoming one of the biggest and most successful comedians of all time, with Shane continuing to improve as a stand-up comic, working on a new Netflix special, breaking arena ticket sale records while on his tour, and now doing commercials with A-list celebrities. It's a given that his fame and fortune is not slowing down anytime soon. With all of this good stuff happening to Shane, it would appear that Lorne Michaels from Saturday Night Live really enjoyed Shane's first appearance on the show, so much so that he just locked Shane in for another appearance on March 1st, 2025. Norm Macdonald would be very proud of our boy Shane for getting to host on his own terms and now getting the opportunity to do it yet again. There's of course some chatter online about Shane Gillis that's happening, and it would not surprise me at all if the press decided to write some smear articles about Shane while holding on to his checkered past with Saturday Night Live. If you want to hear all the details surrounding Shane Gillis and his return to host SNL, then you've come to the right place. While we're here, I'm also going to talk about some of the other great things that have been happening to Shane over the past few months. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. It's a given that Shane is easily one of the best comedians working today, and what's really astonishing is just how much success he is seeing and how young he is as well. To be selling out arenas just a few years after getting fired from SNL has to be an electric feeling. Shane is only 37 years old, and he's selling more tickets than some comedy veterans who've been at it for 3 or 4 decades, which is just unbelievable. I made a short clip talking about Shane and how last year, in September 2024, he actually set a record in Toronto at the Scotiabank Arena for selling the most tickets ever sold for a live event. The venue holds 19,800 people, and the previous record was held by the rock band U2. This just supports the notion that a lot of the modern comedians who are doing the best are starting to get to the rock star level of selling tickets. The record would end up being broken shortly thereafter by Sebastian Maniscalco, but Sebastian is someone who has been doing this a lot longer than Shane, so to put them both in the same conversation when just a few years ago Shane was playing comedy clubs is pretty amazing. All the dogs are eating good this year, and if you're liking the video so far, go ahead and smash that like button like a hot woman who wants your dong. Wait, what? Furthermore, we also know that last year Shane Gillis secured a sponsorship with Bud Light, which was his dream sponsor, and since that happened, we have seen several Bud Light commercials featuring him. Around 6 months ago, we got to see the Dean's Office Bud Light commercial that featured not only Shane Gillis, but also Steve Gerben, who is good friends with Shane and was also one of the main cast members in Shane's Netflix series Tires. What a great commercial this was. I walked in and I said, wow, what a great commercial. No, but seriously, this would mark the first of several commercials Shane would be featured in. We also got to see Shane do a commercial called Wrong Commercial, where he pretends to be misplaced in a pretty funny sketch. This one was also fun, but most notably and recently, we saw Shane Gillis do a Super Bowl Bud Light commercial with motherfucking Post Malone. This was huge. Post Malone is like one of the most famous musicians in the country right now, and he and Shane are doing commercials together and are probably great friends behind the scenes as well. Shane is not only one of the funniest comedians working, but he's also one of the most famous comedians on the planet, which I know he doesn't really care about, but it's just interesting to point out. Then, as of the day I'm writing up this script, Shane announced on his Instagram that he will be hosting Saturday Night Live again in March. NBC also made it official on their Instagram, and immediately we would start to see some of the salty comments from supposed fans of Saturday Night Live who don't think Shane deserves to be there. We even had people saying Shane had the worst monologue in SNL history, which is just fucking stupid. Shane had a great monologue. If you want to see a shit monologue, just look up Elon Musk's. Actually, don't do that. I'm begging you. It really hurts to watch this one. But some negative responses in the comments are not surprising to see. Shane seems to be a pretty divisive topic amongst Saturday Night Live fans. We also saw a lot of coverage of Shane's hosting announcement last year by the press, as well as coverage of Shane's monologue itself. A lot of the news outlets of course brought up how Shane was a controversial comedian because of his past firing from Saturday Night Live back in September 2019, and honestly the history there is fair to bring up, but I don't think calling Shane Gillis a controversial comedian is really true, because all Shane does is just follow what he in his heart believes is funny, which is just what a comedian should do. Some publications are continuing to show how full of shit they are, like those weasels at the Daily Beast who wrote this article called SNL Welcomes Back Fired Cast Member Who Bombed Hosting Gig. I can't quite tell if this is rage bait or if these mongoloids actually believe this. They even went as far as to call Shane a conservative-leaning comedian, which just isn't true. I mean, if you're trying to imply that people across all political aisles enjoy Shane's comedy, then sure, I guess you could say that, but Shane has said before that politically he sits somewhere in the middle. I know the Daily Beast still employs that spoken bird poet Seth Simons, who hates Shane Gillis with a passion because he led the crusade to get Shane fired fired from SNL, and now Shane is one of the biggest comics working today. I'm sure deep down that makes little Seth Simons seethe with anger, and that's pretty funny to me. If you remember, I talked about Shane hosting at Saturday Night Live and pointed out how you could tell he wasn't quite comfortable working TV clean, but how I still thought he had a really good set. I mean, if you watch the set, you can audibly hear the audience laughing consistently, and the small little quips he makes based on how the audience responds is just how Shane does stand-up comedy. He does it in his specials, he does it in clips of his stand-up. This is just a thing he does. He was in control of the set, and he sat in the pocket the entire time. Overall, Shane did a great job, but a lot of people tried to smear Shane, like The Vulture, The Hollywood Reporter, and others, which is no surprise to me because I know most journalists suck ass. Then you have the polar opposite side of the argument who are saying, wow, he said gay and retarded on live TV. Comedy is back, baby. Which I would say is just as cringe as the people crying about Shane being an offensive comedian. Moving on, I will say though that when researching the upcoming SNL episode, it seems like a lot more publications are covering Shane neutrally than previously, which is nice to see. I mean, the dude's had 2 successful specials, a successful Netflix TV show, and now he's doing Super Bowl commercials with Post Malone. I think it's safe to say that a lot of people really like Shane. It's understandable to bring up the past and how Shane was fired because it's just an interesting bit of information, but it gets pretty fucking annoying when people won't let it go and continue to talk about how problematic Shane is. Thankfully, the person in charge and who makes the calls is Lorne Michaels, and I've defended Lorne in the past before because generally, I'd say that Lorne, for the most part, makes a sincere attempt to be on the side of comedy as the SNL showrunner as much as humanly possible. He even came out recently and said that he believed SNL was nonpartisan, which I don't necessarily agree with, but I do think Lorne tries his best to do what's in the best interest of the company and the show. Because yeah, sure, SNL has been unfunny in past episodes, but Lorne is the reason we've gotten to see Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr, Nate Bargatze, and now Shane Gillis come back for multiple monologues and sketches on the show. Next, I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen when Shane hosts SNL the second time. I think Shane is going to do better than his first time hosting. He's probably going to have a completely different set that's slightly more TV friendly than the last one, given his experience hosting the show once and now knowing what he should expect. I also think we're going to see them utilize his Trump impression even more now that Donald Trump is the president of the country. And I believe the reception is going to be almost exactly the same, with a lot of Shane's fans and real comedy fans supporting him, while all the people who claim to be outraged are going to find every reason in the book to hate on Shane and his appearance. I think no matter what Shane does, this monologue is bound to be just as divisive as the first one was. That's my opinion, but what do you guys think? Are you excited to see Shane host Saturday Night Live again, or will you be skipping this episode because you think SNL sucks so bad that not even Shane Gillis can save them? Or do you think Shane is an evil, racist white man who doesn't deserve this opportunity? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you want to check out my second channel, please hit the link in the description down below so you can see me talk about some modern day issues in a fun and goofy way. If not, I totally get it, no pressure. But as always, thank you for watching the video to the end, leaving a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and for subscribing to the channel to see more content like this. I'll certainly be covering Shane's monologue when it happens, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, that's all I got for you. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.